8 years. That's how long it had been since I spoke to my brother. One argument destroyed a relationship that had taken a lifetime to build. Then one unexpected phone call revealed something that changed everything and forced me to decide whether my pride was worth losing him forever.
Welcome back to God Showed Up Stories. Tonight's story is about family. Not the easy parts of family. The complicated parts. The painful misunderstandings. The broken relationships. The years that pass while both sides wait for the other person to make the first move. Maybe you've experienced something similar. A sibling you haven't spoken to in years. A family member you miss but don't know how to reconnect with. A relationship damaged by pride, hurt feelings, or unresolved conflict. If you've ever wondered whether reconciliation is still possible. If you've ever carried regret about someone you once loved deeply. If you've ever struggled between being right and making peace. This story is for you. Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who may need encouragement tonight. And comment below. Have you ever reconnected with someone after years apart? Never forget this. Sometimes the hardest phone call becomes the most important one. All right, let's get into tonight's story.
My brother and I were inseparable growing up. We did everything together. Played on the same teams, shared the same friends, got into the same trouble. If you saw one of us, the other usually wasn't far behind. People used to joke that we were more like best friends than brothers. For most of our lives, that was true. Then our father passed away, and everything changed. Grief has a way of bringing out emotions you don't expect. The months that followed were difficult for everyone. There were decisions to make, responsibilities to divide, conversations nobody wanted to have. At first, we handled things reasonably well, but slowly, tension started building. Small disagreements became larger ones. Assumptions replaced communication. Old frustrations surfaced. Words were said that couldn't be taken back. Then, one argument changed everything. I still remember it. Every detail, every accusation, every angry sentence, every hurtful word. By the time the conversation ended, neither of us was willing to back down. Both of us believed we were right. Neither of us was willing to be the first to apologize. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months, then years. At first, I expected him to call. Then I convinced myself I didn't care. Then I got used to the silence. Or at least I told myself I did. The truth was more complicated. Every holiday felt different. Every family gathering felt incomplete. Every time I saw brothers laughing together, a small part of me remembered what we used to have. Still, pride kept me silent. I told myself he was the one who should reach out. I told myself he owed me an apology. I told myself I had moved on. But deep down, I knew I hadn't. 8 years passed. 8 years without a conversation. 8 years without hearing his voice. 8 years of carrying a wound that never fully healed. Then one afternoon, I received a phone call from an old family friend. At first, it seemed like an ordinary conversation. Then he told me something I never expected. My brother had been struggling for years. Job loss, health problems, financial setbacks, one thing after another. Then came the sentence that left me speechless. He's been living in his car. I couldn't process it, not at first. My brother, the same brother who always seemed strong, independent, capable, the same brother I'd spent years being angry with. I sat there staring at the wall after the call ended, completely stunned. 1,000 emotions hit me all at once. Shock, sadness, guilt, confusion. Part of me wanted to find him immediately. Part of me was still carrying years of hurt. And honestly, I hated that those feelings still existed. For several days, I wrestled with what to do. I barely slept. My mind replayed every argument, every disagreement, every moment that led us here. The more I thought about it, the more exhausted I became. One evening after work, I stopped at a small diner I occasionally visited. I wasn't hungry. I just didn't want to go home yet. I sat alone in a booth, staring into a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. That's when I noticed an older man sitting nearby. He looked familiar, not because I knew him, but because he reminded me of someone who had lived a lot of life. Eventually, we exchanged a few casual words. Then, somehow, the conversation continued. One topic led to another. And before long, we were talking about family. I don't know why I opened up. Maybe I was tired of carrying it. Maybe I needed someone outside the situation. Or maybe God knew exactly where I needed to be that night. Whatever the reason, I told him about my brother. The argument, the silence, the years apart, the phone call, the guilt, the confusion. When I finished, he sat quietly for a moment. Then he nodded, slowly, and said something that immediately caught my attention. I had a brother too. Something in the way he said it made me pause. Past tense. Then he shared his story. Years earlier, he and his brother had stopped speaking. Different circumstances, different reasons, but the same pride, the same silence, the same stubbornness. They both assumed there would always be more time, more opportunities, another holiday, another birthday, another chance to make things right. Then one day his brother died unexpectedly. Before either of them ever picked up the phone, the diner suddenly felt very quiet. I watched him stare out the window for a moment. Then he looked back at me. I spent years wishing I could have one more conversation. I didn't know what to say, because deep down, I knew exactly why God had placed me in that booth that night. The older man wasn't trying to tell me what decision to make. He wasn't judging me. He wasn't lecturing me. Then he asked one simple question, a question I would never forget. If tomorrow was your last chance to talk to your brother, what would you want your final conversation to be? The words hit me harder than I expected. And in that moment, sitting in that quiet diner, I felt something beginning to change inside me.
If this story touched your heart today, comment below. It's not too late. And if there's someone you've been meaning to call, someone you've been avoiding because of pride, hurt, or fear, remember this. Life is fragile. Relationships are precious. And sometimes the people we miss the most are only one conversation away. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past. Reconciliation doesn't happen overnight. Trust often takes time to rebuild. But healing has to start somewhere. Sometimes it starts with a phone call. Sometimes it starts with a conversation. And sometimes it starts with simply being willing to take the first step. Take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who may need encouragement tonight. Thank you for spending this time with God Showed Up Stories. And always remember, God always shows up right on time.